Hello and welcome back to the Unashamed Moms podcast. I realized that maybe the first or second episode, I didn't really introduce myself. I think I did, but I didn't really say my name. My name is Ziana. I am your host, for those of you who don't know. I think that I was just so nervous, but we got really good feedback and I'm really happy. I think that before I released the first episode, a mom-to-be reached out to me and said that she, maybe not even reached out to me, it came up in our conversation that she didn't know what to expect from becoming a mom and what to expect when she has her baby. And that was kind of what the first episode was about. So I thought that was really cool. It was kind of just showed that we need something like this, an outlet to talk about it so that, we know what to expect and we feel seen or heard. After the first episode, I did take a big break, which was crazy because it was only the first episode, but it's only because I went and got married in Vegas. Now, in my head, getting married in Vegas was so much easier than getting married here because there was no planning. For me, I'm not a planner. I can't sit there and plan out every single detail. Like, I could not care less. I could not care less. I don't know if it's I could care less or I could not care less. Anyways, I couldn't care less. It just doesn't resonate with me that way. I didn't even get my dress until 20 days before the wedding. So that just kind of explains it. So for Vegas, we just got the silly chapel, show up, get married, have dinner. It's great. I didn't even know what we were doing for the night until the night of, so this is just, it was easy for me. What I didn't take into the equation was going to Vegas with a toddler, which was so challenging for me. I feel like the airplane was great because it's only 2 hours away. But with the nap schedules and just the being overstimulated, overtired. I was overtired. I, for one, can't sleep in a place where it's new. And then there's obviously Mateo that I needed to attend to a lot. I think that I spent maybe 70% of my time in the room because it was not even in the room, maybe just in the hotel in general. Everybody was having fun at the pool, but it was nap time for me. And usually my husband would stay with me for nap time, but he had his mother with us and she doesn't speak English. So I wasn't about to be you guys have to sit in the room with me because she can't just go out there and talk to anybody. So I just said, just go. So I just kind of stayed in the room by myself, but it was a lot. The day before the wedding, the night before the wedding, I think I had a little bit of a mental breakdown. I cried my eyes out because it was so much. I just couldn't handle it. But the day of the wedding was great because Mateo was with so many other people. And it was kind of just, I didn't really have to worry about him. Only nap time is what I had to worry about. So that part was great. But just the chasing him around, forcing him to eat something, which is crazy hard because this kid only likes to eat, I swear, cream of wheat is his go-to food, and I don't have that in Vegas. I can't just, when we stayed at the Venetian and there's no stovetop, I can't just cook him his cream of wheat. So it was a challenge. It was definitely a struggle, but yeah, the wedding day was really fun. It was a lot of fun. But I truly understand why people go on honeymoons because I feel like after the wedding, we just wanted to spend time with each other and we didn't really get that. Our mother-in-law is staying with us. She's staying on our couch. And it's really funny because I think that I kind of have the perfect mother-in-law. I was getting laser hair removal yesterday or the day before. And the lady that does it, her name is Marjan. And she was telling me about how horrible mother-in-laws are. She was going off on a rant because I brought mine up. And I was like, Mine is Mary fucking Poppins. She is cooking and cleaning nonstop. She has a solution for everything. Like, I have a sweater and I was like, the zipper broke. And I like showed it to her and I was like, oh, zipper broke. And she made me a whole new zipper. I was like, are you Mary Poppins? I don't know. She does like the craziest things. There's always food. The house is always clean. My husband was making a joke because she's like nonstop doing something, and he was throwing pieces of garbage on the ground as a joke, but she didn't even realize, because she was just cleaning it up as he did it, that he had to tell her like, I'm doing this is funny. So yeah, I think it's lovely. We can't really communicate, but we use a translator. I feel bad for her. I feel like she loves to talk and we just can't do that all day. So I think it's good for me though, because then I don't need to like put on a mask and like put on these conversations all day when really I just don't want to speak to anybody. So it's pretty perfect. But no, in Vegas, Mateo is obsessed with his pee-pee. And I don't know what to do. I literally do not know what to do. I don't know if any other moms have this, but any chance he gets, he is grabbing that thing. I have to put him into onesies now, like baby onesies, so that he doesn't take it out. So, or pull it down. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know. But in the restaurant, we had a private room in this restaurant, but they had the doors open, like the sliding doors open. And for the very first time in Mateo's whole entire life, he took his pants off. He took his pants off and his diaper off and was running through this restaurant naked. And I had no idea, because he was, other people had him. And then all of a sudden I see him and I like grab him and I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to fix him. We definitely got in a little bit of trouble for that, but I was like, can we please close these doors? Like, the reason why I got a private room is because I don't want to contain him. I don't want to have that stress of having him at a restaurant, because going to a restaurant with him, like, I would rather die. It's not fun. It is not fun. So like, it could not be me. I just wanted to relax. Like, this is my wedding day. I want to relax. So I was like, just please close these doors. Like, if he wants to run around this private room that I paid for, let him go nuts. And they finally did. So it was okay. But that was wild. I felt so bad for everybody at that restaurant and the staff. So I apologize for that. But yeah, the tantrums, the 2-year-old tantrums have officially started. I think they're so funny. I don't know why. Today, he was like, he doesn't let me go to the washroom by myself. So I was sitting on the toilet. I had him on my lap, because if I go to the washroom and shut the door, we have guests, like my mother-in-law is staying here. I can't just go pee with the door open. So he's sitting on my lap. And he was going like moving his head back and forth nonstop. And I was like, you got to be careful, because you're going to bonk. You can bonk your head on the bathtub, or you can bonk your head, on the counter. And he was like, I want to bonk my head. And I was like, no, honey, you can't bonk your head. You can't bonk your head. And he broke down, because he started crying, because he really wanted to bonk his head. I don't know if it's because he's obsessed with 5 little monkeys jumping on a bed. One fell off and bonked his head, but he wanted to bonk his head so damn bad. And he started screaming for dada. And I was like, okay, like, if you want to get dada, like, you have to go out of the washroom. But I can't leave the door open. So I put him out of the washroom. And then he's like crying, trying to get back in. And I'm like, this is nuts. And so like I open the door, bring him back in, and he just wants to sit on me. And I was like, okay, this is insane. It started. But yeah, unpopular opinion. Other than that, I absolutely love hanging out with him. I think I have the most fun in the world hanging out with my son. I think he's the best thing on this planet. I don't know. I mean, like, watching our kids grow is incredible. I find, like, he's so smart. I'm in awe all day of everything that he can do and accomplish. He's truly my best friend. It's so much fun. I just imagine if I had a daughter. Oh my God. I want a daughter so bad. But yeah, no, we as moms are actually so fucking resilient. I was having this conversation. I don't even remember with who. Oh, a hair laser lady. I think I was holding my legs up and without her help, and I didn't even realize, and it was like a really long time. And then she was like, wow, you're so athletic. I was like, what are you talking about? Me? And she's like, you're just holding your leg up, and it, like, you're not shaking or anything. And I can't speak English clearly. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm just resilient because, well, since becoming a mother, nothing phases me. I swear, like, no matter what it is, I can do it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think because I went through, we all go through that hard part of, I don't know, whatever, the newborn stage or what it is of, I mean, anything at all stages where we just, no matter what, if we don't want to do it, we have to. There's no being lazy. There's no such thing as being lazy when you're a mother. You cannot not do something. Us moms are just so fucking resilient when quitting just is not an option. When these little tiny humans think you're their whole universe, you have to bounce back daily. There's just no other option. We are literally superheroes, I swear. We actually went to a wedding recently. We brought all of our children, my sister-in-law, my nieces, my son, my husband, brother-in-law, everybody. And we all were staying there on the property. We didn't know that we were all going to stay in the same room, but we did. So we put the beds together, and it was just myself, the 3 kids, my sister-in-law. And I, as everybody knows, or if you don't know, I go back and forth with being one and done or wanting another. And the sleepless nights are what really get me, because Mateo did not sleep for 2 years. He still doesn't sleep. Kind of. He still wakes. He doesn't sleep through the night. It's not a thing. But that night I obviously didn't sleep because sleeping in a new place just isn't the vibe for me. And I remember like just seeing her with her newborn. She's not really newborn. Her baby, who's a year, actually, the other day turned a year. Happy birthday. But she was waking up a lot through the night, actually, and it just like gave me a flashback. And she was just breastfeeding, so from one boob to the other boob, from one boob to the other boob, and I was like, holy shit, this is just getting PTSD over here. I don't know how she does it, but it was a lot. Luckily, her other daughter loves to sleep. I loved watching her go to sleep. It was the cutest thing in the world. Like, first there was me. I was bouncing Mateo, like rocking Mateo in the carrier, because I have him, we rock him in the rocking chair. I rock him in the rocking chair to go to sleep. So I brought the carrier so that I could just walk back and forth and he would fall asleep. But her firstborn daughter, who's 3 now, but has always been a great sleeper, and she just laid there, and it was so cute, and she was just like sleeping. She fell asleep. I was like, wow, that is spectacular. This is so bad, but we're unashamed over here. I started giving, first Mateo would never, ever, ever take a binky. Never. I tried everything before to get him to take a binky. He started teething, like when his back molars are coming in. So one day, it was really bad, and one day I just gave him a binky, and he kind of just to go to sleep, and it kind of just, it worked for him. Now I've been giving him this binky to go to sleep every single night. He does fall asleep much quicker. Okay. Like within 5 to 10 minutes, when before it would be like 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. So for me, this binky is a win-win. And for people who don't know what binky is, a soother. Now, I don't want to get rid of this binky. ever. But I am scared because my sister-in-law, she said, well, when her daughter was loved her binky, like was with her binky at all times, and she showed her daughter pictures of ugly teeth and said, if you continue to use this, you're gonna have ugly teeth. And her daughter gave it up, no problem. She was like, I don't want no fucking ugly teeth, which is the cutest thing in the world. But now I'm worried because is that actually a thing? Like, will Mateo have ugly teeth if he uses this binky 10 minutes twice a day? I don't know, because it's a lifesaver. I gotta look it up. I gotta look up if it's gonna be a problem or not. I was looking back at his sleep and looking at what I did wrong, because it's kind of fucked to think about it, because who's to say that no I did do it wrong. I did it wrong. I knew that you had to put a baby to sleep, and I think for the first 6 months I was very traumatized, and I was constantly trying to put him to sleep. He didn't want to sleep. He had a tongue tie. He was gassy, we were up all night. I was just like farting him all night. So sleep was like, and he didn't want to sleep without me as well. So we didn't have that separation. And so I had mad anxiety around sleep. But I remember looking back at around 6 months, I would bounce him on the ball, and within like a minute or two, he was drifting off, and I would go on the bed with him. What I should have done was take away that bouncing ball, and he probably would have passed out. I remember he was sick one time, and I was sitting on the couch, and he was drifting off, and he was on my boob, and I should have let him, but instead I got up and I went to that ball, and I was like, oh my God, he needs to sleep. He's going to sleep. He's tired. And I really fucked up with that. And then it just gets worse. And this is why I'm like, maybe with the second one, it won't be this bad, because I'll know, and I won't be scared, and I won't, be traumatized to try new things, or like if it doesn't work, who cares? Because I'm in that mindset now. Like if he doesn't nap, he doesn't want to nap because this kid hates to sleep. He hates to see sleep. Sleeping is not a thing for him. It's okay. I'm okay. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. But back then it was like the end of the world. Like I would have meltdowns if it didn't go as it was supposed to go. And it was very hard, because I think it was maybe my birthday. It wasn't his birthday, but he was awake for longer than his wake window was supposed to be. I think he was awake for maybe 5 hours. And at his age, he must have been 10 months, 11 months. No, 12, 10 or 9 months old. And when he did that 5 hours, he slept great. Like he slept almost through the night. I was like, that is crazy. So I chased that for so long, not knowing that I put him in an overtired state, because after that he would wake nonstop. I was spreading out his naps like crazy because I was chasing that sleep that he had. I was like, oh my God, this kid doesn't want to sleep. He needs a longer wake window. And I did that for quite a long time. And his sleep just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I didn't know about overtiredness. I didn't know I didn't know that that's what I was doing to him, because to me it was because he didn't want to sleep. It was hard for me to get him to sleep. So I didn't realize he was overtired. Anyways, it wasn't until one day, and this went on for a really long time. Like he would go to bed at like 11, 10 o'clock. And I was like, we need to tire him out. Well, I was trying everything to tire this kid out when all I needed to do was shorten his fucking wake windows. I went to the grocery store, and this lady looked at him and she's like, oh, he is so tired. And I looked at him and I was like, this kid tired? And I was confused. And then I was like, holy shit. And I started doing my research and I'm like, are you chronically overtired? Like, have I messed you up so bad? And I shortened his wake windows. I shortened them to the time that it was supposed to be. And he started sleeping so much better. His eyes looked better. All in all, it was a lot better. Now, I don't know who's to say that his sleep would be fantastic now, because he has his proper wake windows. He had that anyways, but he's always kind of been really sensitive to it. So, I mean, I don't know if other people have done that or made that mistake as well. I feel like there's a lot of things I could have done differently, and maybe somebody can relate. Maybe if your child is waking through a lot in the night and you have too big of a wake window, maybe that'll help. I really should have just let him figure it out, because who knows, maybe we wouldn't be rocking at this stage. He is now. When I do rock him on the chair, I barely rock now. And if he's like fixated on something or like chewing his binky or something, I go, Mateo, like, it's time to sleep. And he kind of just closes his eyes and just drifts off. So I think soon he's going to want to just sleep on the bed. I do ask him every night. I'm like, do you want to go sleep on the bed? And he's like, nah. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I have here in my notes that you never forget how you were treated postpartum. I don't know why I wrote that down or what was going through my mind at that time, but it's so true, because looking back, I will always remember who was there and who wasn't there. Going through postpartum, just having a baby, is hell. So like, after that happened to me, I always vowed that I would always be there for everybody else. Postpartum, I remember I have a friend who's, God bless her soul, I love her so much. She sent me food every day for 2 weeks, which is insane. And it helped so much, because I literally couldn't even do anything. Like, I couldn't do it. I was struggling so much. And so knowing that I had that dinner every single night was fantastic. And she sent enough for myself and my husband. And it was just, it always came with a dessert. I'm literally going to cry, because it was the sweetest thing ever. And obviously not everybody can do that. I know that that's not what I mean. But just like the little things, she would, even though she had her own son who was 2 years old at the time, I guess, I would send her messages after messages, like, because I'm up all night. So I'm texting and I'm like, I'm so confused. What the fuck am I doing? And she would reply these long messages and just go into like depth and constantly check in on me. And it was, I'll never forget that. Even if it was just the messages, I would never forget that. Even with my cousin, we had babies around the same time, so we were up texting nonstop to each other all night. I feel like my husband and I struggled a little bit, because he didn't really maybe understand what I was going through. He was going through a hard time as well at work, and he didn't really understand maybe what I was going through. He does understand a lot more now, but there were times where I truly understand why couples break up after having a baby, because you guys, I mean, men need to understand what women go through, because it's a lot, and to just dismiss it or to not do your part in researching and helping for something that is such a big change really affects all relationships. You really need to work really hard if you want to make it work with your partner after having kids. It's no longer the two of you, and you need to make an effort to make sure. So yeah, there was lots of times in our relationship where I was just done. We were going to end it so many times, but you never forget. And that's why it's also scary, because if I'm going to go back there, I need to be understood. I need to be understood so bad. And I know he gets that now. And I'm so happy that we're in such a great place. But yeah, you never forget. Maybe that's what I'm talking about. I don't even remember, but never forget how you were treated postpartum. But yeah, thank you so much for listening or watching another episode of the Unashamed Moms podcast. I have so much in store. Every episode is coming out on Tuesdays. I do vlogs on Fridays, just for some extras behind the scenes of the life. I will try to have guests on so you guys can kind of have like the perspective of another mom. And I will do these little solo episodes in between. I love the solo episodes, honestly. I think that they are so much fun. There's lots in store and I'm so excited for this journey. This is truly, even the feedback and people saying that like they resonate, they need more, they love it, they feel seen. I love it so much. It's like everything that is what this is for. And it makes my heart so full. Because we as moms, I feel, are alone sometimes. We truly are alone with our thoughts. And some of us just don't have that community. And that's what I want to build here, is this amazing community of all of us together forever. There's also ChatGPT. If you do feel lonely, I do talk to ChatGPT a lot. So you could do that. But yeah, I love you guys so much. And I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.